How long is too long to stay in a calorie deficit? Can it actually ruin your metabolism over time? And what should you do if your fat loss has completely stalled? Today, I'm breaking down the science, clearing up myths, and showing you exactly how long you should stay in a calorie deficit based on my knowledge from working with over 25,000 clients with their fat loss in the last 8 years. So let's go ahead and dive into point number 1. Before we get to the answer, let's cover up something you may have heard butt sniffers on the internet tell you. You should only stay in a calorie deficit for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks max. Otherwise, you're going to ruin your metabolism. Here's the thing, it sounds legit, right? The idea that if you diet for too long, your body will go into a starvation mode, decrease your metabolism, and you'll stop burning fat. Suddenly you get stuck gaining weight even looking at a bagel. This advice is dramatic, it's scary, and it's complete bullshit. And let me show you why. The first reason is #science. This study took 38 resistance trained women and split them up into 2 groups. Everyone was lifting weights. Everyone was eating high protein. Group A stayed in a calorie deficit for the duration of the experiment, and Group B took breaks along the way. So they would do 2 weeks on, 1 week off, and repeated that cycle for their total diet phase. At the end of the study, they measured changes in body fat, muscle mass, and resting metabolic rate, aka your metabolism. And guess what they found? The difference between the 2 groups was 0. There was no statistical change that is great enough to say there is a difference whether you stay in a calorie deficit until you reach your goals or if you take breaks along the way. Now, there is a second part to this that may affect how long somebody should stay in a calorie deficit that doesn't get talked about very often. Let's be real for a second. Real life isn't a lab. Even that study I just showed you, that was the extreme example because everything was controlled. All of those participants were in a specific place, they had a specific diet they followed, and so they could do that study. But that is not what the real world is like. You have family events, social events, traveling, stressful days at work. Maybe some nights you stick with it, some nights you don't. Some days you can stick to your diet perfectly and some days you can't. That's normal, that's not a failure, so you don't need to beat yourself up over it. But this is why the idea that you can only stay in a calorie deficit for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks is taking into consideration the fact that for the entire 12 weeks, you're going to be perfect. You're gonna eat the same thing with the same amount of calories every single day. And for the majority of us, unless you're a psychopath, that is not going to happen. Most people are already taking breaks on their calorie deficit. They're just not calling them breaks. You didn't track food over the weekend. That's a maintenance break. You went on a vacation and didn't count your calories, that's a maintenance break. If you had a stressful day and you didn't finish tracking your calories at night, that is another break. And let's not get it twisted. What matters isn't perfection. I don't need you to be perfect with your calorie deficit. But when you hear about you can only stay in a calorie deficit for 12 weeks, just know that along the way, over 8, 10, 12 weeks, you're probably not in a calorie deficit for that entire period of time. And that's okay and normal. But that also plays into the reason why there isn't a specific amount of time that you need to be in a calorie deficit. If you're seeing progress and physically and mentally you're doing pretty good, then keep going. If you need a break, take one. Or life will force you to take one sometimes. So your metabolism isn't broken and you can stay in a deficit longer than 12 weeks if it's working. But what if it's not working anymore? What if you're constantly hungry, your workouts suck, you have low energy, and all of this, your scale isn't even going down? This is where taking a break might actually make sense. And let me show you how I would do it without ruining all of your progress. So let's make this clear. You can stay in a calorie deficit for a long time only if it's sustainable. And for a lot of people, after a certain point, it's just not. You're dragging through your workouts, you're constantly hungry, food is all you think about, and you're just trying to white knuckle your way through your diet. Once these signs start to come up, that is a sign that you probably should take a break on your deficit. Or it's a sign that you're going too restrictive from the beginning and you need to change your plan to allow yourself to be more flexible so it doesn't feel like you're dieting nonstop. This is something that we use with our online coaching clients. When they come to us and we get them set up with their diet or nutrition plan, we get them set up with a sustainable amount of calories so it doesn't feel like they're starving themselves. We set them up and allow them to work in their favorite foods in moderation. We don't tell them they can't go out to eat on the weekends, because when you do those things, that's when you feel like you're on a diet. But if you don't do those things, it makes it much more sustainable for you. And so I would encourage you to take a look at your plan from the beginning and make sure you're doing something sustainable. That being said, even if you do that, you're probably gonna reach a point where just mentally you want a break from a calorie deficit. And here's how you could do that. If, let's say, your calorie deficit is 1,500 calories per day and your maintenance calories is 2,000 calories per day. By the way, these are just made up numbers. If you need to know what your calorie deficit and calorie maintenance is, click the link in the description of this video. There'll be a link you can use my free calorie deficit calculator. That being said, if you're normally at 1,500, when you take a break, you just increase your calories back to your maintenance calories. You still track, you still hit high protein, you still try to eat good nutrient dense whole foods, but you just increase your calories so that you're at maintenance calories instead of being in a calorie deficit. And this will do a couple of things. Number one, mentally, it will make you feel like you're not eating such few calories, and it will allow you to feel more flexible and less stressed about your deficit. Number two, physically, it will help your hunger hormones. What happens when you're in a deficit for a long period of time? There's two hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is the hormone that tells your body, we're full, we're satisfied, I don't need to eat more. Ghrelin is the hormone that tells your body, I'm hungry, I need to eat more. The longer you get in your calorie deficit, the less leptin you'll have and the more ghrelin you will have. So you'll just be hungrier because you've been in a calorie deficit longer. Doesn't mean you still can't keep going or see progress, it just makes it harder. But when you take, let's say, a week break at your maintenance calories, your ghrelin goes down and your leptin comes back up. So when you take the week break and then you go back into your calorie deficit the week later, you're less hungry, you're less thinking about food, you're more satisfied, and it's easier for you to stick with your calorie deficit. And you're probably asking, how long should you take this maintenance break? I would say anywhere between 1 to 3 weeks. It depends on you and it depends on what you currently have going on, how long you've been in a calorie deficit, but typically that time is what we have found for our clients work the best. Now, you also might ask me, well, Eric, I don't really want to track calories during this maintenance week and I just want to eat whatever I want. I'm not here to tell you what you should or should not do. What I will say is this: if you spend this week binging, eating whatever you want, eating a bunch of junk food just because you're not on a diet anymore, number one, you probably will lose some of your progress. And number two, it'll be harder to get back on track with your calorie deficit afterwards because you will have changed your palate, you'll have changed your hunger hormones, you will crave more of that junk food. So I'm not saying you have to only eat clean foods during this maintenance break. If you want to work in some extra ice cream or a meal out or chips or cookies or whatever it is that you want, remember, you have 500 extra calories to play with. And so you could work in 300, 400, 500 calories of something you really enjoy and still be in your maintenance calories. So I'd urge you more or less eat the same foods, maybe work in some extra treats here and there throughout the week. Because a real maintenance break will help you regain motivation, reduce diet fatigue mentally and physically. Also, I didn't talk about this yet, will help your workouts. The more food will help you push harder in your workouts, and you'll come back to your deficit feeling refreshed instead of burnt out. So yes, you can diet for a long time, but if you're feeling mentally fatigued and you're just hunger hormones and physical cues are so hungry and exhausted and low energy, it may make sense for you to take a maintenance break. All right, so now that you know you can take a break, how to do it, how long to do it, what if you haven't taken a break and you're doing everything right and you're still not losing weight? You may have heard before of something called metabolic adaptation, and this is real and it does screw with a lot of people, causing them to see either no progress or much slower progress than they could be seeing otherwise. So let's dive into what metabolic adaptation is and how you can make sure to avoid it or fix it. So let's clear something up and don't get this twisted. Metabolic adaptation is real. Metabolic damage is not. So what is metabolic adaptation? It's where your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do when you lose weight. It's adjusting to a smaller, lighter frame. If you are carrying around a 50-pound backpack and you took that backpack off, your body would have 50 less pounds it has to work and carry around with, so it wouldn't have to work as hard and it wouldn't burn as many calories. And your body is adjusting to the lesser, fewer calorie intake you are consuming. If you're getting less calories, your body will auto know, hey, I don't need to burn as many calories and I shouldn't burn as many calories if I'm not getting as many calories. This is what we call homeostasis, and it's basically just the concept your body doesn't want to lose weight or gain weight. It wants to stay the exact same. So yes, your metabolism is going to slow down when you're in a calorie deficit and when you lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. You're carrying around less mass and your body doesn't have to work as hard. That's not your metabolism breaking, and it's not a bad thing. Would you rather be 300 pounds with a higher metabolism, or would you rather be 200 pounds, 150 pounds, whatever your goal weight is, with a slower metabolism? I think you would choose the latter. This is just physics, and it is going to happen. So when people try to scare you into saying a calorie deficit slows down your metabolism, no shit. Losing weight is going to slow down your metabolism. So that's normal. But here's where people freak out over this especially. It's when they hit a plateau. They're eating the same amount of calories that used to work, but the scale's frozen, or it might even be creeping back up. What actually happened is your old calorie deficit, because remember, a calorie deficit means you're eating less calories than what you burn, what your maintenance calories are. Your old calorie deficit is now slowly becoming your maintenance, or not a big enough calorie deficit to continue to facilitate fat loss. Which means now it's just time to make an adjustment with your plan. And there's 3 adjustments you can make. You can make one of these or all 3. The first adjustment, you just decrease your calorie intake by 100 to 200 calories per day. You do not need to make a big adjustment with your calories because your metabolism hasn't dropped that much. It just dropped a little bit. So now the deficit that you were doing is not a big enough deficit to create the results. So drop your calories 100 to 200 per day. The second option is to increase your cardio or increase your energy output. So this could mean adding 2,000 to 4,000 steps per day. This could mean adding 20 to 40 minutes of cardio after your workout a couple of times per week, or on rest days, you could add cardio. Or you could do both a bit more moderately. So maybe you'll drop 100 calories per day and you'll add in 2 times a week of 20 minutes of cardio. Because what you need to do is just create a calorie deficit again. So you either need to eat less or move more, or both, which is usually what we recommend for our online coaching clients. But this is really important. Please don't panic and slash your calories by 300, 400, 500 per day. Because yes, you may kickstart your fat loss again, but number 1, it's gonna be very hard for you to maintain that. And number 2, you're just gonna create this process of your body adapting to the lower calories quicker. And then if you need to make another adjustment, you'll just have to go lower in your calories. I don't want you eating less calories than what you need to lose fat. I want you to eat as many calories as you can and still lose fat. So be smart, adjust slightly, and quite frankly, you're gonna ask me, how often should I adjust? Is it every 10 pounds, every 20 pounds? Unfortunately, this really does just depend on the person. One of our online coaching clients, Jamie, was able to lose over 80 pounds without ever adjusting her calories once. Meanwhile, one of our clients, Nick, every about 15 pounds he lost, we had to make an adjustment with his calories. The truth is, everybody's metabolism is a bit different, but what I would recommend is if you have been stuck at a weight for over 21 days, that's when I would say it is time to make an adjustment with your calories and energy expenditure. So let's wrap this up quickly. You can stay in a calorie deficit for longer than 12 weeks. Stay in it until you reach your goal. You might have to make some adjustments along the way, but that's normal. And if you want to take a break along the way, physically, mentally, emotionally, you can take a maintenance break for 1 to 3 weeks and then get back to your deficit. I really hope this video helped you, and if you would like a coach on my team to work with you one-on-one to take out all of the guesswork and build a plan specifically for you and make these adjustments along the way, click the link in the description of this video and you can learn a bit more about our online one-on-one coaching. And next, if you're interested in learning my 29 cheat codes to speed up fat loss, watch this video right here next, and I'll see you there.